Hello, welcome to Lady Rose Queendom. I am so glad you decided to join me down here to the YouTube live. I am going to be talking today about Belle Collective's review. This is season 7, episode number three, and it was called Squab-Belle Up. Chat, I don't know what that means. It don't make a whole lot of sense to me, but who is I to judge? I has nobody to judge. But I will tell you what, I did find this episode a little bit more interesting than last week. So I took a bunch of notes. I actually pre-recorded this video, and I didn't like what I put into the pre-recording, so I decided to do it live. So I went back through, rewatched the show, made a bunch of notes, and child, we down here now. We is down here. Please comment. Y'all know I engage in the comment section. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. If you're new here, please consider and subscribe it. I would love to have you as a member of the queendom, because if you are a woman, if you're a man, if you're a queen or you're a king. So, child, you set up your queendom, your kingdom, and just come down here and join me. And together we can collaborate and have a queendom, because I am a girl's girl. At least I consider myself a girl's girl. Fair use disclaimer: some material used in this video is used under U.S. Copyright Fair Use Section 107 for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. Today, we're going to be doing a bunch of commentary, bunch of criticism, and hopefully we'll be educating each other on some silliness that doesn't happen down there to Jackson, Mississippi. Hello, Lady B. Thanks for joining the live. Hello, Living for Me. Girl, I'm so glad y'all came in here. Hey, Symmetry. Good evening. Good evening, Susie. Y'all, we just gonna be down here for a good time for a little time. Again, like I said, I pre-recorded the video and didn't like any of the sounds. So, child, I decided I would just go ahead and do it live. I pre-recorded that video early this morning, like early. So I was kind of upset with myself because I didn't take notes. I just did the recording as I was watching the video. But as I went back and listened to it, the editing was horrible to me. It was. And we're all critical of ourselves more than probably anybody else. So anyway, so if y'all hear a little bell tickling, I'm babysitting the grand dog. She's over here by my side. She's not happy to be here. She's very anxious and she's ready to go, and I'm ready for her to go because she keeps whining. But child, anywho, she's over here at my feet, relaxing. So if y'all hear a little Tinkerbell, that's just Chanel over here having herself a little whiny fit because she is ready to go, and I got the door shut. She don't like to be closed in unless her mama's here. But anywho, we're gonna go ahead and get down to it, y'all. This episode, like I said, was pretty interesting. This was the title of this episode was called Squab-Belle Up. Again, I don't know what that means because I didn't see anybody squabbing. Saw a bunch of mouthing, but nobody squabbing. And we don't want anybody to fight. That's not our thing. I think that's really silly for adults to be trying to fight. But overall, I would give this episode probably a C. Could have been better. But it was okay. I'll let it slide. It was okay. This episode opens up where we left off last week with the ladies. They're outside and they're talking. And they're actually, going back and forth. Latrice and Letitia arguing back and forth. Latrice is calling Letitia a compulsive liar. And I said they were putting on for the cameras, honey, because that's what it seemed like to me. Like they were putting on for the cameras. I didn't see nothing but a bunch of bad acting. Letitia asked Latrice, why would I contact your employees? And I want to know that too, girl. Why would you contact her employees? That don't make a lot of sense. But Letitia, if you did this, you need to own up to it, girl. But I don't understand why you did it. Hey, that's me, AD. Thanks for joining tonight, girl. Thank you guys for staying up late with me. It's late. It's late. Well, it's not late for me, but it's late for others. By this time, I'm normally in bed. Even if I'm not asleep, I'm normally laying down with a remote control in my hand or talking to my husband, one or the other. Anywho, Latrice responded with, because you did, bitch. I thought that was pretty nasty of her too. They both of the ladies went kind of low. I would say Latrice went a little lower than Letitia, because it did just the anger just to me didn't fit what was going on. But child, I guess Maria's trying to separate them. We see her, telling Latrice and Letitia to stop it, to separate. And then we see Tamara as she pushes Latrice away. Selena in her confessional is saying, "This is unbelievable. Why would they do this here? I cannot believe this is happening at my 50th birthday party." But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what did she expect? She called those women outside. She think they was going to go out there and start having a kumbaya moment. What did she think they were going to do? They went out there to have a conversation that she initiated. And after initiating it, these women already had an issue. That was not the time or the place to be having that conversation. But, I guess Selena got what she was looking for. Child. Anywho, Glenn says Shantae came in and told him, hey, it's a fight outside. So he went out to check and see where Letitia was, because he said he felt like he needs to be out there. And we see him as he's coming outside. Where's T? Where's T? Where's T? And he goes up to Letitia and he goes, what's going on? And Letitia says, there's absolutely no truth to Latrice's claims that I contacted her employees. Child, I don't know if it was any proof, but what I do know is that them text messages you showed didn't prove a damn thing. I don't care what Marie say. They didn't prove nothing. Living for Me said she thought they was going to get in a circle and pray. Girl, that's what I said. Did she think it was going to be a kumbaya moment? What was her? I don't know what Selena was thinking. But I think she's been around reality TV long enough that a fight was probably going to ensue. I can't believe she would think anything less than that would pop off. So we see, Letitia trying to explain to Glenn what was going on and so on and so forth. So how Letitia goes back towards Latrice, I don't know. But she ended up back over there with Latrice, saying again, I never contacted any employee of yours. And yeah, Latrice starts yelling, again, you have. And I was like, girl, we get it. You feel like she says she ain't. If she was trying to contact an employee for a talk show, or what if she was? I didn't think about that symmetry. Could be. But guess what? Them screenshots that she showed Marie, girl, I took a screenshot of them as well. Chat ain't proving nothing or showing anything. Trust me. We're going to read them as well. Latrice, someone tells Latrice, call Josh on the phone. I don't know if it was Letitia who said it, but we see Latrice calls Josh. And Josh says Letitia contacted him, and Letitia pulls up a text thread between her and Josh. And she tells Josh, when you contacted me, I said no. And Josh says, Letitia, I didn't contact you, girl. And she says again, you call my phone. Letitia says again, that's what she tells him again, you call my phone. And Josh says, I did not call your phone. He said, you are lying, Letitia. You are lying. Girl, I thought that was hilarious. The teacher says, Josh, what did I contact you for? Girl, she almost sounded like she was about to cry. That's how her voice started cracking. And I think she's probably like a candy. I kind of feel like she kind of has that candy where when she gets upset, it comes out as tears. It's just how I feel. Not saying it's true, but yeah, I just feel like that's how it is. Then Glenn walks up and says, that is Latrice's employee, Letitia. Of course. You don't have a chance right here, baby. And I totally agree with Glenn in this instance, because that's someone that's her friend as well, not just her employee. He's also her friend. So I really don't think Letitia would have had a chance in that conversation. But girl, she was over there giving it her best effort. She definitely was giving it her best effort. And Latrice says, she screams out, he is not my employee, girl. But y'all were friends before he moved to your house. We've seen Josh on here. We've seen the drama that ensued behind Josh. Girl, we ain't forgot none of that. He grabs Letitia and tells Letitia to calm down. That's what Glenn does. He says, baby, you calm down. You get way out of sort. Just calm down. And Letitia says in her confessional that this is why she married Glenn, because he is a protector. Girl, do you want to protect her or not? Girl, moving on. Latrice says she needs Letitia to get a real business to understand how businesses work. Okay, Latrice, that was little ghetto families, but girl, we're gonna let you make it on that. Letitia goes back to Latrice and tells her, all you do, and this is the third time that Letitia done walked up on Latrice. She walks over there and she says, all you do is talk about everybody around you. And then she points to the lady on the right side. She says, I know everything about her. Then she points to Amanda on the left side, and I know everything about her. Why do I know everything about her? And the lady on the right side jumps in Letitia's face and starts, going back and forth with her. And then Glenn kind of gets in the middle of it, tells the woman, "Don't walk up on my wife." We all know they like to fight and unalive people in Jackson. So this girl that went back and forth with Letitia now, she didn't have no side teeth. And we know people that don't care about their side teeth. They don't really care about a lot of stuff. So I just hope Letitia gonna simmer down and leave that girl alone. And that's just how I feel about that. They don't give a damn. So people missing side teeth normally, I want y'all to know that in life, if people don't care about their teeth, they don't normally give a damn about much. Okay. So if she missed them side teeth, girl, that's a sign. And that whole bottom row looked like they were stacked on top of each other. So baby, just back up. Just back up, Letitia, and just let the girl have whatever she want. Just give it to her, baby. Whatever, whatever, whatever. Um, Carrie says it's time to go. Nothing's gonna get settled out here, and I totally agree. Selena was in the parking lot saying um she didn't know her 50th birthday party would go like this. And I said to myself, girl, what did you think? What did you think was gonna happen? Are you smart or what's going on with you, Selena? Are you okay? Because ain't no way you thought this was gonna be something great, and you don't call these ladies out to the parking lot, knowing that they had an issue with each other. This is not the first episode. This is the third episode. So these girls been dealing with this for 3 episodes now, and I'm sure y'all shot more than those 3 episodes. So, child, let's move right along. We see Carrie going through a confessional, and she says she was expecting to see Marie more by Letitia's side, but lo and behold, it is really security, Shantae, who was holding up the fort. Y'all give me a second. Let me let the grand dog out. Her mama's here. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Had to let her out. Carrie was saying that she expected Marie to be over. Oh, Live for Me said, go to timeout. Live for Me, you know what people don't care about their teeth. They don't give a damn about life. I'm just being honest with you. They don't. You got to care about your teeth because, the teeth is a gateway to the body. But anyway, let me get let me get about them teeth things. Huh? Let me get about people's teeth. Um, Shantae was holding down the fort, so we saw all that. Marie asked Latrice, "Where's all this coming from? That you're alleging that she reached out to your employee. What are you alleging her motive is for calling your employee? Because at the end of the day, it makes no sense. It makes zero sense that she would call your employee." And Latrice says she thinks that Letitia's trying to ruin her reputation and maybe trying to destroy her business. And I inserted, have we heard that before about Marie and Latrice? Isn't that something that we've visited before with those two? But yeah, let's keep on pushing it. Keep on pushing it. Amanda tells Marie, you can't be one sided, girl. You need to be on one side or the other. And so Latrice tells her, she said she could be one side. That's her friend. She could be one side if she wants to. And Marie responds with, I'm in the middle. I'm not on anybody's side. I feel like I'm in the middle. Marie said she would tell Letitia if she was wrong. And especially if she found out that Letitia was wrong. Back in the confessional, we see Letitia. She's talking, and y'all, she is literally melting. Literally. Look at this face. She is in the confessional talking, saying she never expected Latrice to do this to her. And these women tried to gang up on her and jump on her and beat her down. And her makeup begins to pour off her face. I ain't never seen nobody literally melt in real time, but baby, Letitia was on the TV melting. Next, we are at Letitia's house, and she's on the phone with Donald discussing her pilot for a podcast talk show. And Letitia said Donald has inspired her, and he has been a great mentor and a friend. And we see Glenn buzzing in while she's on the phone with him, honey. And he wants to FaceTime. He ain't just calling, he FaceTiming. And we all know we got an iPhone that if someone's FaceTiming, you got to get out the phone because it's going to hang up whoever's on the phone. And so, y'all hold on. I got company coming in the door. My grandbaby's here, my 13-year-old. She thinks she's too grown to visit Granny Child. I'm glad to see her little face because I've been begging her to come visit. Anywho, um, Glenn's buzzing in through FaceTime to see Letitia. And Letitia told Glenn if he had not been there, those girls would have jumped her. And she was so glad to have him there. And girl, she said Glenn was her knight in shining armor. And these people over there at production had nerves enough to put Glenn in a armored suit and post him on the bottom of the screen. Girl, when I tell you production was being super shady, super shady. I mean, like extra shady on this episode. Um, we see Maria arrives at Letitia's home, and of course, they discuss the birthday party and the silly fight that happened between the ladies. And Letitia says she feels Latrice. Um, Letitia said that Latrice feels as if she sent Shantae over there to, in episode, I believe it was one where Shantae was kind of shady to Latrice, or two, it was two, I believe, where she went up to her and maybe it was one, I don't remember. She went over to her and told her, that they need to make up or whatever. And Letitia saying, I don't need nobody to fight for me. I can hold my own pretty much. And she said that's what she was telling Marie. But Latrice is mad about Letitia reaching out to Josh. She don't give a darn about what Shantae said because she was already mad. I don't know why Letitia added that to it because none of that went together. Letitia shows Marie the text messages from Josh, which Marie says proves to her that Letitia isn't lying. I'm gonna show y'all these text messages. Now, the text messages I saw don't prove nothing. It says I'll call you back. Let's look at these text messages. So let me see if I can add it. There we go. So that's the last one. Let's start with the first one. This is the first one she showed. Let me see if I can read it from my phone. So oh lordy. So I can have a clear reading of what it says. I don't know why. Something is showing on my phone. So I can have a clear reading of what it says. There we go. I don't know why that popped up. Here we go. So the first one says, hold on, you guys. Okay, there we go. The first one says, "Hey, babes, just checking on you." That's from, if you see the gray, that is from Josh. The blue is Letitia. The second one says, "Hey, babes, thank you for checking. How are you? I'm in Jamaica." Then the next one in gray says, "I know you living it up, babes. So enjoy." And it's a smiley face anytime with a heart emoji. And then it says, I thank you, or I think you should, and I cannot read that. Let's see what the second one says. The second one, she scrolled down a little bit, and it's a picture of a brunch that she's having. She said, "Come if you can't." In ours, come if you can't. It says can't, but she meant probably can. And RSVP or RSVP is what it says. As bad as I want to come, I don't get off until 8 p.m. But thanks so much for the invite. And thinking about me, babes, is what that says. The next one says, let's go to it. It says at the top, we had something gathering. Everyone kept, and this is from Letitia, the blue, remember? Everyone kept asking or saying how you're such a star. I felt so bad, and it feels so real and authentic is what it says. And then up under there's a screenshot of a Cash App, and I don't know what the rest of that is. And then at the very bottom of that, at the very bottom where that fingernail is, it says, "I called you back," is what it says. "I called you back." And then at the bottom, at the very bottom, he misspelled back, so he put at the very bottom back. So, Chad, that ain't telling me nothing besides you called him and he called you back. But it looked like y'all have been talking all along. So I'm not sure why this is even the thing, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. At least to me, it doesn't. Marie said she feels like Latrice is blowing it all out of proportion. Girl, what's new? What's new? Latrice blows everything out of proportion. I don't think we've had a season where Latrice has not created some drama with somebody or something. Hey, Riri Speaks, thanks for joining. So, baby, none of this is new for Latrice. This is who Latrice is. Shantae arrives at Letitia's house with flowers, and Latrice thanks her because she said she had nothing to put on her table. Again, girl, this is such bad acting, but we're gonna go home. We're gonna go ahead and act like this is great acting, okay? Because child, it ain't great at all. Shantae said at one point it was just her and Letitia that was outside. Now I don't know if Shantae can't see, or maybe she need glasses, or she blind in one eye. I don't know. But it was a whole group of folks out there. It was never a moment outside when it was Latrice and Shantae by themselves. It was never a moment. They may have been standing in the corner by themselves, but it was never a moment where they were the only two that was outside. But Shantae, girl, go on, because I see you like to talk about a bunch of bull swanky too. I see that you are a one of these people too. You like to do this thing too. You like to lie as well. I see we catching you in your lies, but girl, we're gonna call them out over here on Lady Rose. We're gonna call you out. So Shantae said at one point she felt like it was just her and Letitia outside. No, she said at one point it was just her and Letitia outside. Girl, we saw all those folks outside, girl. So whatever. Shantae says she feels like Marie should have had Letitia's side more than she did. And Letitia said that seeing Marie standing by Latrice after the fight made her feel away. Girl. Woo. Anyway, she even asked, do you really even like her? Talk about Marie. Did she really like Latrice? Girl, whatever. Shantae said, it should have been us against them. Girl, they trying to start a war. It should have been us against them. Marie said, this ain't my battle. This ain't my fight. Marie said Letitia never had her back when it came to going back and forth with Latrice. And she said they showed a montage of Marie and Latrice going out. And just as Marie said, Letitia never stood up for her. She was always stayed neutral and tried to stay in the middle. At one point, Marie told Letitia, she said, you going to keep going to bat for her. And one of these times, you going to get hit with that bat. And she's going to wear your ass out. Those were her exact words. And we see that Latrice is over there wearing her ass out with that bat, just like Marie told her. Letitia said she was dead in the middle of the drama between Latrice and Marie. She may have been dead in the middle, but she never took a side. And so I definitely understand what Marie was saying. Not saying that Marie needs to take a side, but I definitely understand Marie saying that, girl, you didn't take a side when it came down to me fighting with this girl. Now you want me to side with you. Now I'm just to figure out what the truth is, and we're going to go from there. And I don't blame Marie for that. She sure didn't, because she didn't want to believe Latrice was lying. Exactly. She kept telling Marie to give her a chance. Oh, this and that. Turned out to be Latrice was lying. Latrice is exactly who we said she was. Yeah, Marie, that's me, AD, didn't she? She tried to tell her, because this is who Latrice is. This is who Latrice is. I don't know when y'all gonna figure it out, when the rest of the people gonna figure it out. But Latrice is a liar, and she wants to keep crap going. That is the only reason why she is even down there doing all the crap she's doing. Anyway, Latrice is doing a do-over. We going over there to Latrice's house, and she's doing a do-over for Selena's party, which I thought this scene was super weird. Super, super weird. She has food and a cake. And the only people she invited was Marie, Selena, and Latrice, and Tambra. I'm sorry. They left out Carrie, and Carrie does not live in Jackson. She lives in a city outside of Jackson. I think it's like an hour or two away. And so she wasn't there, and it could have been for those reasons. And of course, they wasn't going to invite Letitia, because Latrice and Letitia going in, child. So anywho, Latrice says, here's to a night without Letitia. Now she done renamed the girl Letitia. But I don't know about the lying boy, but I know she melting Letitia. She's a melting Tisha, baby. That's one thing I know. I ain't gonna never let her live that down. Baby, you are melting. You need to do something about that, baby. They have makeup you can wear that will keep your makeup from running, baby. One size has a product called No Sweat. It will keep that stuff on your face. There's no reason why you sitting up there melting like that. But child, let me move on. Marie says she has questions as to what Latrice was so riled up about. I totally agree with it. Latrice apologized to Selena for ruining the party. And Selena said without Carrie and Letitia, the vibes were positive at Latrice's house. Girl, Letitia, watch your back. Sound like they trying to excommunicate you from the group of child. You ain't heard that over here. Anywho, Latrice tells the ladies that she had a blood clot. And she said she thought, they were going to discharge her, but she ended up being admitted to the hospital. And she said if it wasn't for Selena, Tamara, and her husband, who had encouraged her while she was in the hospital, she don't know what she would have did. She doesn't know exactly what she would have did. Signature said, I need her to be a real boss and open her own damn bank account. I'm still stuck there. Oh, we're gonna get down to that, Signature. Oh, baby, we're gonna wear her out down there. We're gonna wear her out because that part I did not understand. I did not understand how she's married but has no common sense. But child, let's move on. Marie reminds her that she could have lost her life. She told Latrice that you could have lost your life, and she used that as a segue to talk about what happened at the birthday party. Latrice says that that is why she wanted to do this do-over for Selena, because she never allows anybody to get her out of character. This is what I have to say to Latrice. Girl, you lying. You have been getting out of character since we walked on to the show. Since you got here, you've been getting out of character, girl. We're not gonna sit up here and act like this is something new for you, girl. We know you stay at the rodeo. And you stay out of character. So we not gonna play that game. Marie was looking at her like, girl, why are you lying? Why are you lying? Anyway, Latrice, Letitia took it and she said, Latrice said Letitia took it another step by contacting a disgruntled employee that she had fired. And I said, girl, there lies your answer right there. Josh was, if he was fired, she called him disgruntled. So why in the world would he have a reason for contacting Letitia? He's disgruntled. He's fired. So he probably went to Letitia to out you. But as we see, this Letitia said that their conversation was 2004. We see that he was not mentioned on last year's season. So, girl, what is your girl? Go ahead. Go ahead with your lies. Anywho, um, Marie said if they are already disgruntled, then what is the benefit? And Latricia responds with, I don't know how Tisha thinks. Marie said, what proof do you have that this actually happened? And Latrice said, with all confidence in the world, I have proof of the employee saying this. Girl, we saw Josh acting a fool with your husband. Now all of a sudden you want us to believe that Joshy, who you said is disgruntled and you had fired, is telling the truth. Girl, shut up. Girl, shut up.
Shut up! Shut up!
Oh my goodness. Do you hear yourself? You sound stupid. Marie said, we can't allow outside noise to filter into the collective. We just can't do it. And girl, Latrice ain't hearing none of that. Only thing Latrice is hearing, whatever little buzz noise she wants to hear in her head. Marie reminds Latrice that she and Letitia had a great relationship. And Latrice said, that is what makes it worse. And I don't trust Letitia. But she said she could be in the same space as Letitia. Letitia, girl, that sounds so fake to me. But girl, go ahead. You do you, be fake, whatever you got going on. Whatever. Marie, next we go to Carrie's house, girl. And I thought this episode was kind of cute. Sad but cute. But it was a cute little scene. At least I thought it was cute. I thought it was cute. Carrie's house, we see Matt with two of the children, Jules and Joey, and then Jean's getting her hair combed by her mom. And we see Carrie's parents, Eleanor and Robert, as they arrive with food. Girl, I love when parents bring food. That's why I miss my mama so much. Because she'd be like, girl, come by here and pick up some cabbage or some collard greens. Girl, come by here and pick up, I made a cake. Oh, I miss those days. Anywho, moving along. Carrie called the visit from her parents impromptu. Miss Eleanor said her parents were named Eleanor and Robert. Miss Eleanor said she was tired of her grandbabies going out to eat every night. She said every time she called, they'd be at some type of restaurant. And her husband, he seconded that, and then Matt said, amen. Carrie tells us a little bit about her parents. She talks about them being entrepreneurs. Her mom being one of the first entrepreneurs, I guess, in her area, and being an African-American woman. And you could tell Carrie's mother is Cajun. You know, she has that, my mom used to say Geishan talk. I love listening to her conversation and listening to her talk. And Carrie's parents seem so lovable. You know what I'm saying? Carrie starts gossiping about the Bells with her mama. And her mama said, is this going to spill over into something else or is it finished? And Matt said, well, that isn't for us to decide. And Carrie's mom then responded and said, if you're going to hang out with them, then you need to decide if you're still going to be hanging out with them. If you still gonna hang out with these people, and you need to decide this is a group of people that you really want to hang out with. And I definitely understand that. Carrie said her mother's quite judgmental, but I believe that's just a mother being a mother. That's just me. I just feel like your mother has every right to tell you the truth or how she feels. Her mother told her the same thing my mother has told me time and time again. while my mom was living. She said, you play with trash, soon enough, it's going to get on you. My mom used to say, you play with trash, it's going to get in your eye. You keep playing with it, it's going to get in your eye. And I truly believe that if you mess around with people who aren't like-minded, who do any and everything, eventually that mess will rub off on you, or you will be associated by the people that you hang around with. And I totally, totally, totally agree with that. Moving on. Kara segues into telling her parents about her business, Brick and Spoon, the one in Mobile. She said that the people who previously owned it didn't give the building a whole lot of TLC, is the word she used. And she said the business was failing. It wasn't doing well. And baby, her mama quickly responded and said, sell it, get rid of it, dump it. And her mama said, sell it and concentrate on the ones doing well in Mississippi, because the ones you have in Mississippi are doing well. And Carrie said she didn't want to sell it because she would lose money. And her husband chimed in, Matt chimes in and said, sometimes you just have to cut your losses. I totally agree with that. And I think as African American people, I'm just going to say this out here loudly, we have to understand when it's time to cut the losses. If you look at other nationalities and other ethnicities, they know when to cut their losses. We hang in there a little bit too long. And I agree with Carrie's mom. Carrie begins to cry, and her mother said, that is how you learn, and that is what makes you stronger. And I love her mom giving her that sound advice. She said, let me be weak. And her mother said, I didn't raise you like that. I didn't raise you to be weak. I raised you to be strong. And when you're a businesswoman, I believe you just have to be strong and stand in it. I love that scene between Eleanor, Robert, Matt, and Carrie. I thought it was a beautiful scene. I believe that's what our parents are here for. They're to give us guidance. Sometimes we don't always listen to their guidance, but I tell you what, when they are gone, those words ring in your ear years and years after they're gone. Next, we go over and we see Letitia and her mother. They're going to paint ceramics at Stomping Grounds. And Letitia picks out a ceramic that says love, and her mother picks out a plate. And we see them start to paint. And we find out that Letitia's mother has been dealing with rheumatoid arthritis. And she tells us that she had just gotten 5 shots on that day. Letitia tells us she's been on a financial independence journey. Girl, what? She tells her mother, thank you for adding me to your credit card. And I was like, what are you talking about? Where are we going with this? Because you've been married to this man for 16 years and you don't have a credit card in your name. Everything is in Glenn's name. What have you been doing with your credit? But girl, let's move on. Let's move on. She tells her mother, of course, thank you for adding me to your credit card. Letitia says now she owns her own credit card. Letitia says she's been under Glenn's thumb so long, and it feels good to make decisions based on wants and not needs. She says in certain situations, she stayed with Glenn because she was dependent upon him for survival. Literally, that's what she said. I just kind of summarized it, but that's pretty much what she said. She was dependent on him for survival. Her mother said when Letitia first got married that she told her, baby, get your own bank account. Letitia said Glenn wasn't going to have that. And her mother said, but at some point, you have to have your own. Child, when will women learn? Some women, because every woman I know doing it just like I'm doing it. Child, whatever. Moving on. Letitia said, as married Black women, we sacrifice a lot. We sacrifice a lot, but we ain't sacrificing reality. We ain't being stupid. Child, I don't know what she over there doing. Then she asked her mother if she wanted to attend the recommitment ceremony that Glenn has set up for them, for Glenn and Letitia. And her, excuse me, her mother said, no, I went because of you. And I put in quotation, girl, mama don't like Glendale. Mama don't like Glendale. Letitia's mama basically said, girl, I had to let you hit your head so you could have some sense when it came to this man, Glenn. And I believe that. Letitia tells us her mother has been married 6 times and she don't tolerate mess. Girl, you didn't learn nothing from your mom, Letitia, because one thing she said in her confessional was that her mom, even though she didn't tolerate mess, Letitia said she stick around trying to fix it. But you had a mama who was showing you, girl, you deserve better. Don't stick around for them. Moving on, girl. Yeah. Whatever. Letitia asked her mother, how did you know when it was time to get a divorce? And her mother responded with, it's not something you explain, you just know. Letitia said she's decided to keep Glenn out of her professional life. And her mom said, that's fine by me. Letitia said Glenn is jealous of her and wants her to call him on FaceTime. He don't want her to call him regularly He wants her to FaceTime her. So that explains him FaceTiming her when she was on the phone with Donald. Her mother said, next time, call him on FaceTime and have a man laying in the bed with you. She said, you should satisfy his curiosity. Child. Mama said she don't have a lot against Glenn, but he cannot hold her back. Mama told Letitia, take this plate home with you. And when you know that you've had enough, break this plate. Baby, I'm with Mama on that. Break this plate. You said 6 times, yeah. Me and Mama wouldn't talk about marriage. I'm just saying. 6 times to me says Mama don't tolerate no BS because we know what men normally bring you. Some BS. A lot of us stay in relationships far too long when we know that it's over. Some of us will be in a relationship and know that it's dead, and we will stay there. And I believe that's where Letitia's at. Mama looks like, baby, I ain't staying in no dead relationship. I'll rivaduce. See you later. And but I understand what you're saying. That's pretty much a catch-22. But Mama probably could tell you what not to tolerate too, even though she's been married 6 times. I guarantee you, she could tell you some signs to look for, what not to deal with, and when to walk away. I guarantee you, it's different when it comes to your child because you don't want to tell your child to walk away. Sometimes they gravitate to them more, and I believe that may be why Letitia may have gravitated to Glenn a little bit more. Next, we go to Latrice and Cliff's house. Cliff returns for Columbia, and Amanda's over there helping Latrice cook for Cliff. They're cooking steak. I think she said green beans and mashed potatoes. Baby, the butter was expired and the mashed potatoes was expired, but baby, they kept on cooking. All the pans that Latrice pulled out look brand new, so we know Latrice ain't over there cooking. Latrice and Cliff talk about the Bells and the situation that happened at Selena's birthday party. Latrice said she isn't confrontational, and I was like, bitch, what? Girl, stop. That's exactly how I felt about it. I was like, girl, what? You're not confrontational. You may not be confrontational, but we know you like to jumpstart the mess. But girl, anyway, she was like, bitch, what's up? That's what she said to her husband. And Cliff stops her and says, she is too classy. You too classy to be hollering bitch. I said, boy, what? Whatever. Cliff said that Latrice is stooping to their level, and that is what they want. But what? Maybe they stupid to Latrice's level. I don't know. But I've been watching this show for looks like 7 seasons. And we see Latrice be the same person over and over and over. Anywho, Latrice told Cliff that Glenn would never step to a woman. He should never step to a woman. I'm sorry. And Cliff turns around with the attitude and says the reason why he's doing that is because he's been out here fucking up. That was his exact words. And Glenn is trying to save his marriage. Cliff said they should be building a legacy and not tearing each other down. Child, I guess that's what he said because, baby, it was all in captions and he was mumbo jumping. I don't know. I just kind of wrote something down because that's what it sounded like he said. Anyway, Latrice has blamed Letitia. By the end of that conversation with Cliff, Latrice had blamed Letitia for everything that had happened in her life since she'd been born. Pretty much. Really, she had. She just went down the line and she started blaming her for this, that, and other. We go over to Glenn and Letitia's home. Glenn arrives with some pizza. He sits down to have a conversation with Letitia. This is where it gets really interesting. Letitia gives Glenn her cheek to kiss as he comes to the couch with some pizza that was piled up on a plate. He comes to sit down. He goes, oh, your cheek? And she said, yeah, what else did you want? I thought that was super weird because this is her husband and she keeps staying there with him and giving him excuses or whatever. But child, okay, whatever. She thanks him for having her back at the party. And Glenn says he wants to be a part of her business. Do you feel like I'm going to bring bad energy to you or something like that? He asked if, why isn't he a part of any of her focus groups? He said, do you don't think my brain works like that or something? Baby, your brain probably don't work like that, but we're going to go on and let you have that one. Letitia said, this isn't about you. This isn't about you at all. He said he wants to build together and Letitia wants to build alone. And that's what it looks like. It looks like Letitia is planning her exit strategy. And I don't know why he don't see it. I see it. He should see it. But yeah, moving right along. Glenn said he knows his worth. He said he's worth more than the thing that swings between his legs and a paycheck. Glenn said the only time he gets any affection from Letitia is on payday and when she's horny. Baby, when I tell you, I got a good cackle out of that one. Glenn said he understands that she don't trust him, but he also feels like if he messes up again, she's gone. And I believe that is the truth. I believe she's like I said before. She planned her exit strategy. He knows what she's doing. He definitely knows. This ain't no. He ain't girl. He knows. He knows exactly what she's doing. He knows. He just playing slow. He ain't slow. She validates his concerns and tells him, that is what she's doing. That is just in case he does mess up again. She's out of there. Glenn said Letitia was a housewife. You were a housewife. I took care of everything, and you stayed at home. You was a kept woman. She don't want to be a kept woman no more. Letitia said this isn't who she is anymore. Glenn asked her, "Do you feel like I put a ceiling over your head?" Um, and I put in my question right. It's not about her. It's not about Glenn. It's about her. And I don't think Glenn gets that part. That at this moment, Letitia's being selfish and she's only thinking about herself. I don't even think she's thinking about her son, Josh. I really believe she is pretty much thinking about herself. Anywho, Glenn mentions that she has Donald back around. And I said, I know good and darn well. No, good and darn well. Glenn ain't jealous of Donald. I know. Another laughable moment. I know good and darn well you're not jealous of Donald. You can't be. You can't be. Why is it that men, when they done did they dirt, I always put you with the raunchiest of dudes, or the dudes who are not so good looking, or the dudes that got a little money they think you're gonna run behind? Yeah, moving right along. Glenn says you want to be self-sufficient, but you have an investor that is a man. Am I not enough? Chad, ask yourself that question. I put I put in quotations. Apparently not, homie. Apparently not. Anywho, Glenn said he knows how men move. And I said, nobody, you know how you move. That's what you know. Letitia asked Glenn if he trusted her. No, and he was very quiet. I guess he don't trust her, but he been the one out here cheating. Y'all hold on one second. I got company in the room again. She thought she was back home. I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, he said Letitia asked Glenn if he trusted her, and he was quiet. I said, "Speak about trust, baby. You got a whole lot of nerves, a whole lot of nerves." Anywho, Letitia tells Glenn she's starting her financial journey, and she wants to take a few thousand dollars out of the account and put it into a separate account. She says she has spoken with a loan officer about a secured loan as well. Glenn said he's fine with that. I'm fine with that, Letitia. Glenn said, "You see how you research how to do that? How about you research how to love your husband again?" Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, little boy. You done broke that lady's trust. You done broke her trust so much and so. She's trying to find an exit strategy to get away from you. And she doing it right before your face. And then you acting like you don't see it. Baby, you act like you don't see it. She is creating an exit strategy right in front of your face and you don't see it. Maybe all this is for the cameras. Maybe all this is fake. But baby, because I don't see no woman making no exit strategy and the man seeing it and he not walking out the door first. But baby, she doing it right in front of his face. Right in front of his face. Anyway, Letitia said that she will do that. That she's gonna research how to make him happy again. Then she said, "You trying to be funny, and that's why I'm choosing to be celibate." I think, girl, what? You man, woman, choose to be celibate. Girl, go ahead. Letitia explains that being celibate is just for her to have some clarity and for her to have some understanding, not be so brain fogged. And she explains exactly what she meant by the brain fog. Glenn said Letitia wants him to fail, and he stands up. Now, he done made this about him. Now he the victim. You've been cheating on this woman. You done did a DNA test with another woman about a child. Just so happened that you didn't happen to be the child's father. But now you saying she wants you to feed a child. I believe you've been setting her up for all 7 seasons. But child, maybe this is a scene. Maybe this is an act. I don't know. I don't know. He leaves his piece on the sofa and he walks out the door. We see him going to an F-150, and we see Letitia pick up her phone to call him. And and she's asking, "Oh, you just got up and left. You didn't even try to understand what I was saying, girl. Who cares if he understands you saying?" This man is clearly only thinking about himself. I don't know how Letitia got herself into this situation, how she allowed herself to not have the proper tools and equipment like a bank account, a credit card, some type of credit in her name before any of this came to this part. Because we 7 seasons in, we've been dealing with Glendale in this situation. I know at least in season 2. So while Letitia has not gone forward with putting some money back, and I know she must be making some money out Belle Collectors now, because she's supposed to be like the initiator, the founder of getting all these women together, the collective. So why isn't it that she has some accounts in her name? Maybe I think Letitia may be putting on for the gram. I don't know, but that may be the problem. Next week we see there'll be more of the same foolishness. They have relationship expert coming in. I think Carrie brings her in, and I think she's going to try to drive some things home for the women. I don't know if it's going to be successful because we see her screaming, "Is this the Belle Collective?" Child, these women are not acting like Bells. We maybe need a whole new crew of women because they ain't doing nothing. I will tell you this: Tamara ain't showed us a diddly squatty thing. Next episode, she's going to talk to us about, we're going to see her get a call about her father possibly having a stroke. And Tam, I don't want that to be your storyline. Girl, give us some real. Show us you down there to the radio station doing some events. Why are we having to see something sad by your father's tragedy health scare? I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair to her dad. Letitia in this money situation, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Symmetry said earlier, she wants her to open up her own account. Me too, Symmetry, because I don't understand why you haven't had your own bank account up until this point. You are a original Belle on Belle Collectors. You should have already had an account, a business account at that. You are a Belle's bondsman. So you have to have the account to be a Belle's bondsman. You actually have to have a bond put up. So I don't know. These storylines don't make a whole lot of sense. Latrice blaming Letitia for everything that's happened in her life from the beginning to the end. All of this, all of it. It just don't make no sense. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. All these views expressed in this live today, they're all alleged, in my opinion, and I'm just over here having a good time for a little time. This is all for entertainment purposes. I ain't trying to make nobody dislike nobody. I just got some questions, and none of this makes sense. So, you guys, I've got to get my Married to Medicine review together. I'm gonna do that tonight before I go to bed, maybe in the morning. But I'm gonna tell you this Belle Collectors, they starting to pick up, but they not making no sense. Sound like their storylines just they just don't make a lot of sense to me. It makes no sense. All of them times Glenn had been away at work, she could have been taking herself to the bank to open up an account. But Symmetry, you got to think about it. To be a Belle's bondsman, you have to have a surety bond, I believe. Let me look it up. And she's actually a Belle's bondsman, and she's been doing that for a while. I'm gonna share this with you guys. So I don't understand what Letitia is doing. I don't know what she's doing. The requirements to be a Belle's bondman, also called a bail bond agent. You must meet your state's legal requirements. So it goes on with this. In Texas, you must be 18 years old, at least 18 years old, be a U.S. citizen, have no felony convictions, and certain misdemeanors may disqualify you. Be financially stable. Deposit $50,000 in cash or property with the county, or obtain a $50,000 surety bond from an insurance company. Child. But you want me to believe that you ain't got no account. Girl, I think she lying. I think she putting on for the gram. I really believe Letitia is putting on for it. I do not believe you've been married to your husband all these years and you don't have no credit. I don't believe that. I don't believe you're a Bell's bummer and don't have no credit. I don't believe none of that, Letitia. I don't believe none. I believe you lying. And I'm gonna put it right out here. I believe you lying. All this is alleged, but I believe Letitia's lying. I believe she's a liar. I believe she's a liar. I believe she's lying. That's it. That's all. I believe she lying. I believe she lying. Uh-huh. I don't believe nobody been married for 18 years and don't have no credit. I don't believe it. I don't. I'm gonna tell you this. Been with mine a long time, 25 plus. I can go to any car line, get any car I want, only in my name. The only man who's ever co-signed for me was my father. The only man. I have a home that I purchased only and solely in my name. So you tell me how you, as a married woman, don't have nothing in your name. Now you're not even on the credit app for your house. I don't believe nothing Letitia's saying. When I tell you I don't believe nothing. I believe none of them. They're being fake, and this is why they look foolish. Exactly. Exactly, Riri. You cannot tell. First, you're a Bell's bondsman. You out here throwing all these brunches. Who fronting you the money for the brunches? What credit card you use? Who house you gonna be by, Lewis? Who car seat she gonna ride in, Lewis? I don't believe nothing she's saying. Nothing. If y'all wonder where they came from Super she was mad at Lewis after they broke up, baby. Who house you gonna be by, Lewis? No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that you have all this stuff going and you don't have a bank account in your name. Girl, even if it's a branch of his bank account. I don't believe that. And I believe that's why he was so quick to say he was fine with that. Because he know you already got one. Girl, get away from us with these lies. Anywho, you guys, what'd you say? Sounds like someone that will remain nameless, throwing stuff out there, seeing if it will stick. Sincerely, Marcel. right, right. Just throwing stuff and see if it'll stick to the wall. Letitia has taken us up through there. She's taken us down through there. In 7 seasons, we done been all around the merry-go-round. We was on Fair Street trying to open up a bit. That maybe why she couldn't get in Fair Street. She had no credit, or her credit was bad. I'm more apt to believe her credit bad than she don't have no credit. I'm being very, very honest. I'm more apt to believe Letitia's credit is bad versus not having any credit. I really am. I really, really am. And then maybe why she out here working so hard, trying to redo her credit. You would believe these people going around here playing with their credit. And then when the time that you really get an opportunity to shine, your credit bad. Yeah. Yo, let me tell you something. My friend told me a long time ago when I was probably about 2021. She said, baby, ain't nothing as good as being able to sign your name on a dot. If your name is worth a lot, just imagine that. And I was like, girl, what you talking about? She said, your credit. Just imagine you can go anywhere. If you take care of your credit take care of you. You can go anywhere and just sign your name on a dotted line. It's yours. I'm a witness. I'm a witness. I'm a witness to go into the car lot and just pick it out, whatever I want, and saying, okay, I want that. And when I come back, I need the paperwork ready so I can sign it. That's it. You got to do those things. You have to do those things. Women, you have to remain financially stable and ready to move around this earth at any time. I'm telling you. Well, Akeisha said she made progress on Fair Street was because she had the backing. True, because I believe the city council and the people who own the land were not willing to sell at all. So I don't believe that Letitia actually that's okay. I understand what you meant. I don't believe Letitia ever had any real financial issues. I don't. I believe the problem was in Mississippi, where she is in Jackson. Those people did not want to sell the property on Ferris Street. That's one. And I believe the second issue was that Letitia just chose to be who she is, not a follow through. I don't believe, you know how people start something and never finish it. I believe that's just who she is. I believe she's good at those those brunches. So that's something that she hangs her hat on. And she may be a great Belle's bondsman. She may just be bad with finances, maybe bad with her credit, maybe bad with paying bills. But I don't see you being their big age, your mama having to make you an additional signer on her credit card because you can't get a credit card. That don't make no sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't deal with stupidity. I'm sorry. It's just something I've never been able to like. If I see something that don't make sense, you pretty much expect me to call you yeah, this is the word I use all the time. If it don't make sense, you can look for me to call you a liar. You just can. And I use that word with every ounce of my being. If you lying, I will call out a liar in a heartbeat because people lie. People do a lot of lying. I could point out a bunch of them right here on this YouTube. Anywho, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming down here to have um this time with me tonight, talking about Belle Collectors. I believe this was a great episode. I believe that we need to iron out some stuff. I believe that if Letitia's lying, we need to move her off the show. I'm just being honest with you. I think it may be time for her to hang her hat and go on home because she ain't making no sense. You ain't making a lick of sense. You want to exit from this man, but you letting the whole world know what you're doing. Have you ever heard, don't let your right hand know what your left hand doing? Maybe apparently not. Yeah, but it is what it is. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. My daughter brought me some burrito tacos, so I'm gonna go downstairs and have me a taco because I probably ain't gonna be able to eat both of them. I'm gonna have one, then I'm gonna go to bed. Well, I'm gonna do my review for Merit Medicine. Y'all, Merit Medicine was good. It was a good episode. I cannot wait to break it down and to be able to share with you guys and have you guys interact with me because the episode really was giving. It was giving. And baby, I'm gonna give Eugene a whole lot of smoke. So if you're a Eugene fan, I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer up before I go in on him because I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him to task. I'm gonna take Eugene to task. We're gonna talk about him and the fact that I'm sure he wears what they call, what's the word? Always with wings every 28 days. All right, y'all. If no one told you today they love you, I love you. And there anything you can do about it. Y'all have a great, great night.